this stunning ancient city in Petra, Jordan, the archaeologists are totally stunned by a strange discovery here, and it does not belong here, the archaeologists say. Maybe that's why this area was devastated. Now, archaeologists stunned by the discovery of white sandstone in the ancient city of Petra. It's in Jordan. It's east of Israel. The valley exclusively filled with red sandstone, revealing the real reason for its decline, the white sandstone that was found. Petra and its long ancient civilization, perplexing researchers for years. It was once a thriving hub of politics, culture, economics, one of the most important waypoints of the region. The Nabateans inhabited the city. It's located in what is now southwestern Jordan, and quickly amassed an envious amount of wealth that attracted the attention of the neighboring ancient Greek Empire, which unsuccessfully attempted to capture Petra city in 312 BC. Now, it was the first, that was around the time of Alexander the Great. It was the first reference to the city ever recorded in history. When the Romans arrived there 106 AD, though, the Nabateans were unable to fend them off and were forced to surrender. Petra was annexed and renamed Arabia Petrea, and the Romans ruled over the city for the next 250 years. However, in the 4th century AD, there was a massive earthquake that hit. It ripped the city apart, forcing its importance to decline just as sea trade routes emerged. Later on, during the Byzantine era, after the 4th century, several Christian churches were built there, but the city continued to wane in significance. That earthquake then had been attributed as the sole reason for Petra's demise, but some archaeologists believe there is more to the story, that there's something else behind the demise of the city. Finally, support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below. It's what they found. Some archaeologists believe there's more. It includes Dr. Tom Paradise, who worked at Petra and spoke during the Smithsonian Channel's documentary Secrets, Riddles of Petra. And through his analysis and excavation, he found that Petra was victim to another form of catastrophe at some point in history. It has to do with geology here. Along Petra's colonnade Main Street, his team of archaeologists investigated a line of shops in 2017, and they came across something very puzzling. Dr. Paradise says what they uncovered were massive beds of very white sandstone, showing a piece of the brick red sand that is native to the valley. He said it's much more characteristic of the lower part of the valley. Yet he picked up sand from another pile, which was found in the shops, and he said this characteristic white sand does not belong here. The valley in which Petra sits is exclusively surrounded by hills of red rock. Dr. Paradise and his team set to work investigating this mystery. And here we see the sample of white sandstone on his finger, whereas the surrounding rocks are red sandstone. Now, he said, we realized it had the particle size, the color texture, everything the same as the sandstone that we see across the valley and over the top of the hill. This started a longer inquiry that would lead us to conclude that Petra may have literally been hit by a massive, massive flood. Petra has history of being hit by torrential rains and subsequent flooding. In 1963, its flood defenses succumbed to floodwaters, and 22 visitors lost their lives from that. Now, the people who once inhabited Petra were all too aware of the dangers of flash flooding, and so installed a series of tunnels and offshoots to control the excess surface water. The Sick Petra's main entrance was vital to the city, as it was the main connection to the outside world. Dr. Paradise says what was actually a brilliant plan was that the tunnel was created to divert the water from the main Sick. So the primary corridor to the main city would have been kept free of water during the episodic rains. On the surface, it seems like foolproof engineering, but on closer inspection, Dr. Paradise found evidence that at some point water was massively backing up near that entrance. He said the far side of the channel is completely scoured clean, so the water would have been rushing down the canal. It's backed up by the obstruction in the tunnel, and it's rising to the point where it starts to scour the side walls and then literally tops the banks way up there, and you can see where it's rounded. And we're looking at 5, 6, 7 meters of floodwaters. That's 7 meters, that's over 20 feet at that point, and that would have been extraordinarily a lot of amount of water. If Dr. Paradise theory is correct, floodwater would have backed up into the city, filling the streets up to 16 feet of sand and debris as well. So Petra was thus finally abandoned in the 8th century because of this. Nomadic shepherds used the vast buildings cut into the rock face as shelters. It wasn't until 1812 that Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt came across the ruins during one of his trips, and after that, Western explorers and archaeologists also made the journey, and a formal project to excavate the survey Petra was soon launched after that. So obviously flash floods, not only here, but also in various parts of Israel, dry riverbeds filling up immediately with water after just up above that area where rains would come down, filling the ravines with water. So this is on Express UK by Joel Day. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support.